nothing gives you the right to put your hands on anyone else. Nothing. Especially a woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see your mother get beat on?
No.
So what, I mean, honestly, you're 47 now, and I know that there's this new fad out where, you know, young people really believe that the only way that they can show love is through craziness and being in toxic relationships where you're checking each other's phones and I got to know where your location is at all times. Like, that stuff is crazy. If you have to go through all of that to be with someone, you don't need to be with them.
And words of wisdom from the parole board. I certainly can agree with that logic. Now, we are about to watch the parole hearing of a man who was sentenced for, well, for assault, for protective order, for all those things that the parole board had just mentioned. And he's got a long record. I'll go through that with you in the unpacking. But with that, we're going to start off. We're going to jump in. Now, the beginning, it's quite interesting, and I thought I would keep it in for you. But basically, they bring the wrong man to the parole hearing. They bring somebody who is not on today's docket, who, as far as I'm aware, is not up for parole anytime soon. So it's kind of funny seeing them go through the motions of realizing they found the wrong person. So you can sit and watch that experience. It was about a 20-minute thing, but I fast forward through him just waiting around doing nothing. And then we'll jump into the hearing. So with that, let's go.
Hold on, Ms. Williams.
Yeah.
You could send your
Right.
last one in, because I know I got your last email and you did confirm, and they did say he knew about it, right? And still didn't move.
Yes, he was notified
Yep, okay.
at the service.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
So you can
Right.
send the last one in, thanks.
okay.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
State your name for the record?
Keith Wright.
Yes, no, it's not you. Can you call Officer Williams in for me?
Was it?
Yes, I. Officer Williams,
Yes.
it's Tyron Wright. That's Keith
sorry.
Wright. Tyron Wright. He has dreads. That's Keith Wright. It's the wrong guy.
Yes, sons.
Yeah.
260585.
Give me a moment, I'll have to get him.
Okay.
Yeah, 26585.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you. Hi. I'm sorry for the delay, sorry for all the confusion. I have the correct right now.
You have the, you can say it.
But you have the right.
The right.
I have the right this time, yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, that.
Tyron Wright, 260585.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Tyron Wright, 260-585. He is serving a sentence of 3 years and 6 months jail flat for a criminal violation of a protective order, violation of probation with underlying possession with intent to sell, dispense narcotics, an assault third, criminal mischief second, and a breach of peace. As of today, your records reflect the parole eligibility date of April 21, 2025 at 50%. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed domestic violence to date. He remains on the wait list for addiction services, education, and vocational referral, and he's currently working in the kitchen. He also reported that he's been working for the last 7 months and wanted to be stated. And he also stated he completed voices. However, I could not find any evidence that he completed voices to date. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. Mr. Wright, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. Sir, you may begin.
It's been a long 2 years that I've been in. Right now, I'm trying to get myself back healthy. I had a stroke, and so I'm paralyzed on my left side. But I try to do most that I can do from now. I'm trying to go and rehabilitate myself in a different way. I'm getting older, so every day I be in here thinking about not coming in here anymore. Now, I've been in here too many times already, but this time that I made it through my surgery was like a different wake-up call. So I'm trying to go home and do everything that I possibly could do to stay out and do what I need to do for my health and for the family as well. There's been missing too much going on out there, and I can't always ask them if they're okay. The situation that they do, I call and I can't be there to help and always ask if it's okay when it's not okay. So,
Well, thank you. Oh, anything else, Mr. Wright?
no, that's about it.
Okay. So, we're going to take turns asking you questions so that we can try to understand if you're appropriate to go out to discretionary parole before your end of sentence. So I'll start with the questions. Very sorry for the medical problems that you've had, Mr. Wright, and I admire your courage in powering through. I understand you're working in the kitchen?
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of light TT therapy because my left side is nerve damage, partially paralyzed all the way down from my shoulder to my foot.
All right, I don't want to, I want to mention that this hearing is being live streamed.
Yeah.
So you have a right to your privacy in terms of your medical issues. So, only put out there what you're comfortable with, but we did read and understood that you've had some challenges. But I'm glad to see that you're not giving up on yourself. You're still a young man.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, you were on probation, as Officer Smelly said, for drug sales when you picked up all these new crimes. 2023 was a pretty bad year for you. What was going on?
I was still dealing with I was losing a lot of family members, so my mind wasn't really focused on too much of everything, and I couldn't really make up lost time. So I was like in the dark place.
Have you been able to do any grief work so you could process the losses that you've had?
Well, the programs that I've kind of been talking to counselors and things like that, so a little bit more communicating
So maybe when you're back in the community, you can look to do more of that.
Yeah, I'll try to
yeah.
find a counselor that I can go sit
with,
from time to
right?
time.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody needs that kind of support. And, you know, it's hard to sustain the losses of loved ones.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you know, get yourself the help that you need. So it appears that, you know, through this difficult time or dark place, as you described it, you were involved in a series of relationships
Yeah,
in which you were disrespecting your partner. We have 3 names of 3 victims, all, you know, in 2023. And you have 3 standing criminal protective orders against you. Can you tell me what you understand a protective order means?
well, I know not to contact them or visit them, call them, or any type of contact.
And that includes, you know, messaging through social media,
Yeah, any
you
type
know,
of
reaching out through Facebook or, you know, it also includes any kind of third-party contact, like you have a friend in common, so you ask that friend to tell this person X, Y, or Z that you want them to know. You
Yeah.
can't do that. Okay.
That's right. I understand.
All right. Okay. Well, it's important to talk about because one of your charges is criminal violation of a protective order.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you were on probation, you were not working, you were using substances, and you were violating protective orders. You know, all of that is very concerning because you were not meeting your responsibilities as an adult. You were not being a productive, contributing member of our society. And given that you have a criminal history that goes back to 1997, you really need to be engaged in positive things to give back to your community because you've caused a tremendous amount of harm
Yes, ma'am.
through the crimes that you've committed. So I understand you do not have a sponsor. No
Yeah.
one, I got that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You've been halfway house approved?
No, I didn't even do anything yet.
They haven't talked to you yet?
No.
I have that you were halfway house approved February 28th.
That's new to me, but I didn't know.
Okay, 'cause I was trying to figure out why you were coming for discretionary parole when you don't have a sponsor and DOC has already approved you for a halfway house. So it's because you didn't know you had that approval. Okay. So you've taken the Voices program?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
have a certificate?
Yes,
Okay.
I have all the paperwork that I did. I asked the counselor several times. He was supposed to, I guess,
Pass
put it
it
on
along.
records. Yeah,
Okay.
put on records.
All right. So in the Voices program, you get information about how victims experience the crimes that are committed against them. So in your opening statement, you didn't say anything by way of an apology to the victims in your case. And I'm wondering if they're listening, if there might be something that you'd like to say by way of an apology.
Yeah, I'm sorry for all the wrongdoing I did. And I didn't mean to do any harm to them.
I'm struggling with that statement a bit, Mr. Wright, because if you punch somebody in the face, I don't know how you could not be intending to harm them.
Yes, I understand.
So there was some intent, and it was you wanted what you wanted, which was the phone and the keys that you stole after you punched the victim in the face. And I want to talk to you about it because you could kill someone by punching them in the face.
Yes, ma'am.
They could fall down and hit their head. I've had cases where people have been serving sentences for manslaughter because they punched somebody in a parking lot, they fell down and hit their head on the curb and died. But you also just don't know what is going on with anybody at any given time medically. So a punch to the head could cause their brain to bleed and they could die. So it's really serious that you would make the repeated choice to punch people in the face. And I hope you'll give that some thought because, you know, you do it the next time and it's like rolling the dice, what happens to that person, and you're still responsible, even if you didn't intend for them to die, but you were responsible for their injury. So, I read in the pre-sentence investigation that you're seeing someone, a Ms. Freeman. Is she still in your life?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What happened?
I don't know, it was getting complicated, but, you know, just, I guess, time away.
Okay.
Nothing really bad.
All right. But haven't you known her a really long time? Isn't that what I read?
Yes, ma'am.
Does she know what you're serving your sentence for?
Yeah.
Okay. Because she has a right to know that you have a history of beating up women.
Yeah.
If she's going to be in a relationship with you, she needs that information in order to protect herself and keep herself and her children safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you angry?
I'm not sure. I just be in dark places. I've been working on a lot of self-me thoughts and positive talks and different readings and things. This time around is kind of different than any other time. So I think it was a wake-up call after my surgery. So I just really kept going with what was on my mind, trying to be positive more than negative, and that I take everything out different.
I hope you'll continue on that path. You know, with physical limitations, you're a little bit more vulnerable, right? You feel a little bit maybe worried about yourself out in the world, less of the arrogant bravado of being a macho guy who's, you know, going to control the partner that he's with and what she does and where she goes. And now that you have some limitations of your own, I'm sure that it really changes how you're going to be in the world, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Your last incarceration, how long were you in for?
2 years.
Did you take any programs then?
Yeah, I was in the time program.
Time?
Yeah, on tier 4.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
Last incarceration, it would have been,
That was
2019, 2020. So you have a problem with various substances. You have the highest possible drug score of 5.
Okay.
And your drug of choice is PCP?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
When's the last time you used that?
About some years.
Years?
Yeah, years.
What did you like about that substance?
I don't know, it just took me to another place, like, didn't feel anything.
The reason that I'm asking is because it's one of the most dangerous drugs that you can use, because it causes permanent damage to your brain
Yeah.
in ways your brain cannot recover. And the way I think about it is like taking an ice cream scoop and removing parts of your brain with the ice cream scoop, and those holes are just there. Nothing fills in, your brain doesn't heal, and we don't even know how it plays out as you age to have that damage done to your brain. So I really encourage you to get on board with recovery.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your longest clean time, Mr. Wright?
It's been about 3 years, 4 years now.
So it's this period of incarceration is your longest clean time?
Yes.
How are you going to prevent going back to drug use when you're in the community?
I'm gonna try to find a counselor where I can see on a day-to-day basis or talk to, plus try to work different outlooks, talk to my sister more.
Do you have anybody in your life who's living in recovery, who used to be addicted or is dealing with addiction by, embracing recovery?
No.
Okay. Have you ever participated in NA or AA out in the community?
Yes, I did that a couple times.
Did you find it helpful?
Yeah, I like to go in there.
Okay. What about CCAR? Have you explored CCAR there in the facility?
No.
Okay. I'm worried about you, Mr. Wright. I wouldn't be able to grant you discretionary parole without you taking a program through addiction services.
Okay.
You need a really big relapse prevention plan that's got a lot of different tools in it.
Okay.
Like, have you ever worked with a sponsor through NA?
Yeah, the one I was going to before, called the Open Door.
Okay, but did you have a person that was sponsoring you?
No, I would see them when I go to night programs, night meetings.
Okay. Because I would encourage you to figure out how to identify somebody to ask to be your sponsor.
Okay.
Somebody you connect with at a meeting that you think could be helpful to you. And they're a resource that you can call when you are in between meetings and maybe, struggling not to use. Do you think you're an addict?
No, ma'am.
If you are an alcoholic or were an alcoholic, you are an alcoholic today.
I would encourage you to reconsider that. I think that you have some learning to do because you've been in and out of treatment, Renaissance East, Wheeler Clinic, MCCA. You've tried different recovery programs and you're still using, or you were up until you came in. And, the substances, crack and marijuana and PCP are pretty serious. Most people use regularly, not just recreationally, do have a problem and are suffering with an addiction. So you need to look at that a little deeper. So my last question to you, you completed the domestic violence program. I have to assume you've done it before because you have protective order violations dating back to 2008. You have strangulation in your criminal history. So you've taken it.
6 times.
Okay, thank you. So what does a healthy relationship look like, Mr. Wright?
Communication. We need to talk more. What's troubling and figure things out before the negative.
So have a relationship, your partner being your equal,
Yes, ma'am.
that you share with each other, support each other, help problem solve with each other, or just listen.
Yes,
Are you a good listener?
Great listener.
I'm going to suggest to you that a healthy relationship starts with respect. And it looks like you struggle to respect the women in your life. And in fact, you're actively disrespecting them in your relationships. And then when they want to end the relationship, you get even more aggressive. So if somebody doesn't want to be with you, why would you want to be with them? And if somebody's with you because they're afraid of you, that's not a relationship, that's a hostage situation. So, if you respect your partner, you're not verbally abusive, you don't call them names, you don't insult them. You have to have healthy boundaries. Your partner can talk to their friends on the phone. They can email with other people without you getting in their business. And if you're insecure because of what your partner might be doing, that's a problem with you, not the partner. And you can't fix that problem of your own insecurity by controlling your partner.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why you have serial relationships, one after the other, where you are violent and abusive towards your partner. There's something going on with you that you need to figure out. Like you said, you don't know why you're angry. You need to figure that out, Mr. Wright. Or there'll be a 7th and an 8th and a 9th period of incarceration. And all of a sudden, you're going to be 65. I really hope you can continue to work on yourself, do the therapy that you're talking about. And do you have any life goals? I know I said I was done with questions, but do you have any life goals?
Yeah. I really want to try to work and own my own business.
Doing what?
Move those, the carpentry, painting something.
Mm-hmm. Is that realistic with your limitations right now?
Yeah,
You need to
well,
think about something else?
I'm also want to try to do physical therapy to get my body back right to where I can do everything. I go to physical therapist at UConn, so I go every other week to try to get it back
Do you have
right.
exercises to do in between your appointments?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
a lot of write-ups.
Okay, keep doing your exercises to rebuild your strength. I wish you much success, sir. Thanks for talking with me. Mr. Rodriguez?
Thank you, Madam. I don't have a lot of questions. I just want to say, Mr. Williams, I'm sorry for your medical condition. I know it can be very challenging to have that, having that. Had some experience with family members having had the same issues. I know it's a real issue, including based on your self-esteem and those kinds of things.
Yes, sir.
Well, But I would agree that I do think you need to really consider your substance abuse issue. And I think you need to, try to get as much programming as you can to kind of prepare yourself for coming out on the outside. I don't know how effectively the physical therapy, how long it will take to get to that point in your physical recovery, that you'll be able to function in a way where you're going to be feeling comfortable. But I think that along the way, you need to kind of, prepare yourself to get back on the outside, because you have a significant history going on, and you really haven't taken a lot of programming now. I know you've taken past programming, but hopefully now that you seem to sound serious about you're wanting to get better and wanting to do the right thing, that you really take some additional programming at this point.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wright, I've gotten some additional information. What we had previously wasn't correct. You are halfway house eligible for DOC release in July, not last month. So it's coming up. So you'll have an opportunity at that point.
Thanks.
Panel member Page.
Thank you.
Barry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Wright, you have daughters?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
4.
4 daughters. How would you feel if someone punched your daughter, if her boyfriend or her husband punched your daughter in the face?
I'd be upset.
Right. You'd want to fight that man, wouldn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
So why do you think it's different for somebody else's daughter?
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Nothing gives you the right to put your hands on anyone else.
Not at
Nothing.
all.
Especially a woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see your mother get beat on?
No.
So what, I mean, honestly, you're 47 now, and I know that there's this new fad out where, young people really believe that the only way that they can show love is through craziness and being in toxic relationships where you're checking each other's phones and I got to know where your location is at all times. Like, that stuff is crazy. If you have to go through all of that to be with someone, you don't need to be with them. And why on God's green earth would you want to be with someone that doesn't want you? Yeah. You're lost, deuces. Like, I really don't understand it. I mean, I really do hope that you get the help that you need, but I have some numbers for you, Mr. Wright. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I just reviewed your history as my colleague was speaking to you. And according to our records, you've taken domestic violence 6 times in the facility. They wanted you to take it out in the community 4 times, but you only successfully completed it once. You've completed the Voices program 5 times. You said to the chair that you took the Tier 4 program. You didn't. You started it, and you've taken it out in the community, and you only did it for 2 months.
I did it in Carl Robinson, and then I went home.
Right, but you didn't finish it. Did you finish it?
No,
It
I
didn't.
left.
No, you didn't. There's I have a problem with verbiage. Don't say that you completed a program and you didn't. That's a lie.
No, you asked if I did the program. And I said, yes, I was in Tier 4.
Did and complete.
Oh, okay.
2 different words.
Oh my God.
You are trash.
Can I
Now
just,
submit. Hold on. And I still have some. So you took the Tier 2 program 4 times. Nothing has worked. That's a lot of treatment, sir. You have to understand that with all those opportunities, it's not the program, it's not the help, it's you. In your decision making, in your control issues. You can't control somebody else. You just can't. So-
without coming back to prison?
I was just about to say, you're only going to wind up back in prison. Let them go. I mean, honestly, let them go, it's plain and simple in my eyes. Let them go or go back to prison. You like your freedom or prison? Freedom, prison. I don't care how crazy she is. I don't care how pretty she is. None of that stuff. Seriously. Nothing is more sacred than your freedom and peace of mind. Don't you want to lay down and wake up to someone someday who is happy to be with you, who shows you a healthy love? Like, I just don't understand. You don't need all of this drama to be in love, Mr. Wright. That's it. I'm done lecturing. I really am. I just really need you guys to start thinking about things differently. It just makes no sense. It's enough of you in prison. It's enough. All right.
I would add to what you were saying. I'm reading the DIS based on the report that the parole officer put together after she interviewed you. And what you got from the voices is it taught you not to put your hands on anyone. How have you not learned that lesson before? I mean, especially if you've completed this program 5 times before and domestic violence 6 times. I mean, that's absurd. That tells me that you didn't take it seriously. And from the domestic violence program, you said, I've learned to work on my anger. And you sit here and you tell us you don't know why you're angry. How are you working on your anger if you don't even know what's behind it?
No parole for Tate. None.
So, okay. Enough said.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole because of anger issues.
So I started with Mr. Wright, and I have to say, while I have great compassion for him, I am not finding him suitable for release to discretionary parole at this time. He did say when interviewed that he thought his sentence was fair. I think it is incredibly generous for all the damage he was doing out in the community while on probation. I'd feel irresponsible to put him out to discretionary parole without an addiction services program for someone who scores as high as he does with as concerning a drug of choice as he has. And his longest clean time is just while he's been incarcerated. And we didn't even get into the DR for conveying an unauthorized letter, which was going to be contraband. So I am not going to be voting for Mr. Wright to go out to discretionary parole.
I'm sure I will not be supporting Mr. Wright's discretionary parole today either, for many of the reasons that have been outlined today. And I think he just needs to have a lot more programming. Even though he's taken a lot of programming already, he needs to kind of begin to change himself, kind of man up to this whole situation, and try to understand the things that he's doing are just not the right things. And hopefully he will do that. Not, we may find him back here again.
Hopefully not under more serious circumstances, because he keeps punching people in the face. Councilmember Barry?
It's dramatic.
Okay, so I have criminal history, nature and circumstance, offense on probation, and inadequate evidence of offender change.
Okay. I mean, he has taken the programs, and I can
That's
hear.
what I'm just saying. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I do hear some insight. He just has an issue with applying.
Well, and what I just read from the report, that his takeaways from the program are, in my estimation, wholly insufficient for someone who's taken these programs time and time again, that he gets to this age at 47 and he's learning not to put his hands on other people. So in the matter of Tyren Wright, inmate number 2600585, there's a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: your criminal history, the nature and circumstances of your current offenses being committed while you were on probation, and an inadequate evidence of offender change. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Parole is denied.
This concludes the hearing for Tyron Wright, 2600585. Mr. Wright, did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck to you. You'll receive all this in writing, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, take care. Thanks.
We wish
It's right.
you much success, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, to his credit, he took that gracefully, and he was respectful in this hearing. I don't know, maybe he's become more mellow with what's happened to him, but when you look at his record, and like the parole board was saying, it's hard to see this side of him. But what's also crazy is, again, they listed out how many times he took the programs. Imagine that. Imagine that the DOC would even allow him to take it that many times. And we're going to see another parole hearing, another man, another tall man, another man with the cane. It's this one's quite interesting. Well, we're about to see it, but let's first just go through these records. It's we saw one side of him where, yeah, you do. I felt bad. I felt, compassion to him, but you still see the picture of where he was just an absolute menace, but also given every opportunity. And in some ways, it is quite shocking to think that after taking the program so many times, just think about this: you take decades of programs, and you literally don't even know what to say to fake it. You don't know to say that, yes, I am an addict. I mean, just those words. It's like, what were you doing in there? Nothing. I mean, you just have to even know what to say to fake it. And you can't do that. Or you can't have any insight into why you're angry. None. It's scary. It's hard to understand. It's like, it's talking about, this is the poster child for how rehabilitation in this case does not work. The man can't even fake it. And it's how much money has been thrown at trying to rehabilitate someone, and there's nothing there, nothing to show for it. Like I said, I mean, I thought it was a respectful hearing. I thought it was, but that doesn't mean anything. Now, thank you, Holly, for the information. And so we could just go through it. 8/25/2023, criminal violation of a protective order, 3 years, 6 months. His maximum release date is 1/20/2027. Let's just go through this long record. 10/21/2015. What was it? Assault 3rd degree, 1 year jail. Violation of a protective order, 5 years jail, was suspended after 3. Don't you love how, by the way, the sentences, they pile up on the suspended sentences, but they never seem to serve those suspended sentences? Larceny, 3rd degree. They gave 3 years jail for larceny. Third, what? Violation of a protective order, 5 years suspended after 3. Assault 2nd degree, 5 years suspended after 3. Failure to appear, 8/8/2015. What is this? 1 year jail. What is it? Assault 3rd degree. Interference with an emergency call. Violation of probation. This is 2/4/2020, and it's like the dates. You look at the dates, and they don't quite. It's like everything's overlapping, right? Like, how do you get a 3 year sentence and then a year later, and it gives 1 year 1 ounce of cannabis, 1 year jail. It's funny that you can get a year in jail for that. Assault 3rd degree, threatening 2nd degree. Here's possession with intent to distribute, 7 years, suspended after 3. This is 2019. Again, it's the joke. Think about, if you're the felon who keeps going in front of a judge who says, we're going to give you 7 years suspended after 3. Then next time you see him, like a month later, 3 years suspended. Then it's like that it's just a joke. You know that you got all these years that they're suspending, but you never serve it. We just see this over and over. Unless I'm missing something, guys. Tell me I'm missing something. Oh, he has an escape 1st degree. That's interesting. Well, I mean, when did that happen? That happened in 2021? 1 year jail, suspended after 60 days. Wouldn't you love getting a 60-day sentence for an escape? 1st degree, it makes the escape worth it, right? Interference with an officer. Convey item into, what is this? Or maybe this is taking something into, I don't know. Breach of peace. It's just a protective order. Assault 3rd degree. Criminal mischief. And if you see this, this was the offense at 8/14/2023, and we had this parole hearing in March of 2025, and this is with this long record and all these suspended sentences, and it just makes me wonder, what does a suspended sentence actually mean? Just feels like a gimmick to me. But we'll go into a hearing of a guy who just loves his beverages with alcohol in it, and it's also mind-boggling to me. Thank you, Lady Holly, for recommending both these hearings and providing the research. And with that, let's jump in.
You know, the judge said to you at sentencing, when you do the same thing 13 times, it's not a mistake, it's a choice. Do you remember him saying that?
No, actually, I mean, be honest, to be totally honest with you, I don't know. He probably did though, but I'm not sure. I just can't say I remember, but you know,
It's not about whether or not we make this decision, sir, about whether it's appropriate for you to finish the 3 years you have to serve out in the community on parole, and we make it in light of the interests of public safety.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your track record is one of being a menace. I've been doing this almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I read about somebody drunk driving to the liquor store.
Right. Yeah. Driving erratically.
You know, and in my town,
And we are about to watch the parole hearing of a man who has so many DUIs on his record. It's hard to keep track. And, you know, he was only sentenced 12/5 of 2023, given a maximum sentence of 3 years, even though he continues to show that he is an absolute danger to the public. Now, I think that the parole board's member, that her passion in this parole hearing is justified. I love that she said, in my town, but I also wish I could hear that same passion when it comes to those offenses against children. I wish that I could hear the same anger, and we sometimes do, but not all the time. And I do want to point for the record that we have seen enough parole hearings where there have been cases where those were driving to the liquor store when they got their 5th or 6th DUI. But it certainly is interesting to see it here in Connecticut. I'll unpack it with what details we have at the end. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Did you know companies can take months to report a data breach? On average, it's 277 days before you even find out that your personal data has been exposed. Think about that, 277 days. That means that your sensitive information, like your email, your phone number, even your financial details, can already be out there. Now, it's not just one company, but major banks and corporations, they've all experienced breaches in the past year. Maybe you've seen about it in the news. Your information could be compromised right now, and you wouldn't even know it. Now, that's why I use Aura. Aura scans the dark web and alerts me fast if personal information has been leaked. If someone tries to open a bank account or credit card in my name, I'll know right away. I have been using Aura for about maybe 9 months now. Something that they also do that really helps me a lot is keep spam callers away. That's a big bonus for me. They actually remove my name from those spam caller lists. Now, they also provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and a full suite of tools to keep you protected. And this is all done in one app. You can try Aura for free for 14 days at aura.com/Mandoo. And that's 2 weeks to find out if your data has already been exposed before you hear from a company months later. So why wait? Get some peace of mind and try out Aura for free. Take control of your digital security right now. And now, let's go back to the hearing.
Let's go with Davenport. Inmate number 101777.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Edward Davenport on 01777. He is serving a sentence of 6 years, execution suspended after 3 years, 2 years mandatory minimum, followed by 3 years probation for criminal violation and protective order, violation of probation with the underlying possession with intent to sell and dispense narcotics.
I think we have a.
Excuse me?
Hold on one second, Mr. Davenport.
The DUIs and the driving on a suspended license, violation of conditional release.
Hold on one second, Mr. Davenport.
Yeah, don't have no driving, no sell of narcotics, no way in life.
Hold on a second, I might information. Hold on one second, sir.
Nowhere there.
Yes, I apologize, sir.
Okay.
He has
Spare me.
6 years, execution suspended after 3 years,
After
2 years
2 years.
mandatory, 2 years mandatory minimum, followed by 3 years probation for operating under the influence, third offense, illegal operating a motor vehicle under suspicion of alcohol, third offense, illegal operating of a motor vehicle under suspense, third, illegal operating under motor vehicle suspense, third, violation of conditional release, first degree. As of today, records reflect a mandatory minimum parole eligibility date of April 13, 2025 at 50%. There's no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows he has completed voice in tier 2 to date and is currently participating in the aftercare and CCAR program. He remains on the wait list for tier 1. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system scores, the overall score falls within the high range for Mr. Davenport, the risk for recidivism. Mr. Davenport, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
I did complete tier 2, though. I didn't complete that. That's been completed. And I did the CCAR program as well as completed that. Now, I do have something I would like to speak out to the parole board on my behalf. I can read a letter to you.
Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm writing this letter on behalf of my being paroled. First of all and foremost, I want it to be known that I have used really all of this time of my incarceration to reflect as well as focus on my future. I have come to realize really now more than ever that drinking has never really done anything positive or promote anything positive in my life, really. Good or positive results that I can truly say from my heart. All drinking have really done, well, in the end was caused me problems. Doing the tier program helped me even more to realize this fact, and to really come to heart to realize with myself face to face. I am grateful. I am very grateful and thankful that I still have the chance to live a more productive and constructive life. I hurt more than myself because of the consequences of my incarceration and drinking, such as my family, my mother, who is blessed to have just turned 92, and I am her only son. She has lived due to one being murdered and the other one dying from complications from years of drinking. And my sister died of an aneurysm. So now it's only me and my baby sister to take care of her, which is where I will be residing and living with my mother and sister, seeing how I was also seeing how I allowed drinking to cause my wife to divorce me. I gave the drinking up back in 2022. Not only did the program give me even more encouragement and reason to stay clean and sober, I also took the CCAR program classes and graduated and found out that CCAR is actually opening a building directly across the street from where I will be staying, living in Charcoal Plaza in London, which I'm hoping I could be of help to them as well as possibly them helping be of help to me in the way of employment. I have a good support system like my church members, family, my daughter's son, and friends. And in closing, I would like it to be known that I have taken the full responsibility and actions for my actions and feel more sure of myself to do the right things in life, such as making better choices and decisions. I also will be using the skills I have learned in the CCAR program to help my community deal with addiction in hopes that this will help me as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that opening statement. We're going to proceed with questions we prepared, starting with panel member Barry.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Davenport, I appreciate your opening statement, and I'm happy to hear that you finally believe that you have the tools necessary to avoid your relapse. You've been struggling with this disease for a number of years. I show your criminal history dates back to 1978. So you've been doing this for a really, really long time. And I'm just curious to know is your liver okay? Because this is a whole lot of drinking.
Yes, ma'am. I just had that checked. I did it while I was here. Yes, my liver is definitely okay. It's definitely
She asked you in all sincerity, sir, not as a source of humor.
Oh, no. Since she asked me about my liver okay,
Yes.
So I think I'm sorry she had asked me that because I did have my liver checked. And they was concerned about the same thing. And they sent me to UConn and so forth like that. And I have my liver checked. Yes, it's okay. My liver is fine.
So have you ever been able to address why you drink so heavily or so excessively?
Yeah, sometime I was like get upset, but most of the time it was just drinking out of just to be drinking, just drinking. But I really didn't need it, and I found that out. I found that out late. I didn't really need to drink it, And as I got older,
I'm going to, so Mr. Davenport, have you been able to gain a better understanding of why you drink?
Yes, I have.
Is it a boredom?
No, not boredom. There was problems sometimes when problems come along, and because of problems, and sometimes with the brain, hanging with the wrong crowd, which back in when I was younger, hanging with the wrong people and so forth like that. And as far as boredom, I don't think it really had nothing to really do with boredom. It always something to do with, maybe some kind of something to do. But basically hanging out with the wrong people and doing things like that, trying to be part of the crowd.
So this, Mr. Davenport, what was so interesting about my reviewing your file was that you've participated in a number of treatments to address your alcoholism, and nothing has worked thus far. And go ahead.
Oh no, besides participating in a number of treatments, only one I think I really treated was Lebanon Pines. That was like in 07.
It was in 07, and you completed that successfully, but you had several others after that. In fact, my review of your file says that you participated in the DUI home confinement. It looks like
that was there,
at least 3 times, according to my records, and you've taken the Tier 4 program when you were in prison in 2013 because of a DUI. And then when you were interviewed by the officer in preparation for today's hearing, you mentioned absolutely nothing about a relapse plan.
Relapse plan? Well, my relapse plan is this right here. It's staying clean by, like I said, I have a lot of support. I'm a member of my church now, and they did give me a lot of support, my church members. And like I said, I haven't been drinking since 2022, but not only that, I have more reasons now to stay clean, especially with my mother's health and conditions. She don't know one year to take care of her but me. That's one reason why. And another reason is like I have lost too much due to this drinking. I have lost too much in drinking and doing other things. I have lost too much in
So let me tell you something, Mr. Davenport. As parole board members, we really don't care if you decide to drink yourself to death. That's your choice. It's a choice that you make drinking can be very damaging to your health, as you know. I heard you talk about other people in your family suffering from very similar things and how they passed away due to their substance abuse. It's when you get behind the wheel of a car without a license and drive and hit things and cause accidents and then say other people were driving the car. Like, I don't, why when there's so many other things, other ways for you to be picked up or go from one place to another. There's so many different things, resources out there for you not to have to drive. Why do you continuously do that when you know that you do not have a valid license, that you're not supposed to be driving? Why?
That was very inexcusable, but you know, I say other people were driving. I don't know if you're doing that, but as you just mentioned, as you just mentioned,
What did you just say? I'm sorry.
That's it. Other people were driving. You said you are trash. So I said other people were driving.
You said your son was driving a car when you hit two parked cars,
And there was nobody in your car with you.
I can't. I really don't even understand that. I really don't understand that. But from what you just said right there, like I said, driving and get behind that wheel, I totally take responsibility for that. Like I said, I have come to realize I've lost a lot of things by being in denial like that. I don't know.
So prison wasn't enough for you to be that. What prison wasn't a wake up call for you?
At that time, it was and it wasn't, because you know, I was going through other things, and I'm thinking that drinking will take the problem away, which it never did, never done. You know, and like I said, I'm older now, and I have too much to look forward to even attempt to even want to even get behind the wheel of a car.
Well, I wish that I could believe that.
I don't want, this time, I don't even want to really drink or be in that environment with people that does that. I used to be in an environment with.
So Mr. Davenport, can I stop you? Because I'm a person that really, like, verbiage is problematic for me. So you're using things like you don't want to drink, and I'm not gonna drink again. And I really do think that if you were capable of doing that, you wouldn't be in prison right now.
True.
So it's more than just your will. You have to be every single day intentional about your sobriety, sir.
If you are an alcoholic or were an alcoholic, you are an alcoholic today.
And I'm not going to sit here and lecture you about this, because you're 65 years old. You don't have a lot of life left to live. And if you want to continue to do life in installments, like driving a car when you know that you're not supposed to be, that's your decision. But, you know, I mean, honestly, I based on, you know, the fact that you participated in a number of treatments previously, you said that you went to Lebanon Pines. That was the most beneficial for you, but yet that still didn't stop you from drinking. And you've taken the DUI program a number of times. That still didn't stop you from drinking. You've taken the Tier 4 program. That's the creme de la creme of programs that DOC has to offer. That still didn't stop you from drinking. And then you come inside the prison, and then you get another ticket for drinking.
You are trash.
Well, no, that was PhD, was it?
In talks, we don't have any details.
Yeah, that right there. That right there. We come to find out that this was intoxicated. And if I was not intoxicated, I would take an oxys. That's which I'm prescribed to.
Okay.
Was that in Corrigan? I believe that was in Corrigan, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know which prison it was in, sir. It's just.
Because I know I know in Corrigan, they found out that I was taking oxy. They thought it was some other kind of drug, and they found out that it was oxy that I actually was taking.
Mr. Davenport, I really am happy to hear that you still have the love and support of your family and your children. Sounds like you have a viable sponsor. Your sister has agreed to allow you to live with her. I heard you talking about your mother who's getting old and you're wanting to be there with her. All those things they sound like they're positive things in your box, you know, to hopefully keep you on the straight and narrow. It's just very difficult for me to say that I could support your discretionary parole when you haven't. Do you know that you've been out in the community 14 times under supervision?
14 times, I really know. I really don't know. I can't say I really have no exact. It's like 14 times, I don't know exactly.
Well, you've been out there 14 times. That's how many times you actually were successful. Out of 14 times.
I can't even recall. I really can't recall.
Four. You failed 4 times. You failed 10 times. And looking at your record, I see you were driving with a suspended license 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 times since 2005. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DUIs that we know about.
No parole for tape.
And that's another thing right there. Once your license, they told me, I didn't know this till they told me, if your license was suspended under DUI and you get stopped while your license is still suspended, it still fall under DUI. I didn't even know that. Even
But
if
you're not supposed
driving,
to be driving.
period.
It shouldn't fall under anything.
Absolutely.
It should fall under Uber. It should fall under
Absolutely.
It should fall under Connecticut Transit, not under a suspended license because you have.
You're right. You're right, Mr. Without argue with you. You're right. You're definitely right. Like I said, I have.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Davenport, I don't have any questions for you. You know, the judge said to you at sentencing, when you do the same thing 13 times, it's not a mistake, it's a choice. Do you remember him saying that?
No, actually, I mean, to be totally honest with you, I don't know. He probably did though, but I'm not sure. I just can't say I remember, but you know,
It's not about whether or not
he did. Quite sure that he did. I'm very quite sure he did.
Yes. So, you know, the point of it is, you know, you minimize the offenses by calling them mistakes when they are in fact choices. You minimize crashing your car into poles and other cars when you're drunk and behind the wheel by calling it an accident. It's not an accident if you get behind the wheel of a car after you've been drinking.
None.
We make this decision, sir, about whether it's appropriate for you to finish the 3 years you have to serve out in the community on parole, and we make it in light of the interests of public safety.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your track record is one of being a menace. I've been doing this almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I read about somebody drunk driving to the liquor store.
Right. Yeah. They're driving erratically.
You know, and in my town. All right, Mr. Rodriguez.
No questions, Madam Chair.
All right, give us just a minute. That's all it's going to take.
Thank you. So I really would love to support Mr. Davenport's discretionary parole, but he really has given us very little to work with. Hasn't done well out in the community under prior supervisions. And the nature and circumstance of his current offense is very, very concerning, in addition to his criminal history dating back almost 50 years. Or 45 years?
Yeah.
It's too much to overcome, and I'm happy to hear that he believes that he has what he needs this time to go out and be successful. But I hope that he is successful on probation. I hope to continue.
Okay. I would not, do not find Mr. Davenport suitable.
I do not either, Madam Chair.
Okay, so criminal history, nature and circumstance. Okay, because I had a question mark about change. In the matter of Edward Davenport, inmate number 101777, there's a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: your criminal history and the nature and circumstances of your current offenses. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, parole is denied.
This concludes the hearing for Edward Davenport, 101-777. Mr. Davenport, you're all set. You'll receive all this in writing. Good luck to you.
So that means I have to do the whole time, you know?
Yes, correct, sir.
Or do I go, is there a halfway house or I have to do halfway house or something?
You have a sponsor. Why are you talking about a halfway house?
I mean, while I'm here, while I'm in here, I mean, if I was denied, this first time I've ever been to parole, so, I mean, I'm denied right now.
Correct. So talk to your counselor at DOC and they'll make arrangements once you're getting ready to be discharged from there.
I'm sorry, so again, about discharge, what's that?
Talk to your counselor at the facility and they'll talk to you about discharge planning then. You'll see a discharge planner then.
You're going out end of sentence, sir.
No parole for Tate.
I'm sorry, going on what?
None.
End of sentence. We're done.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole.
Mr. Tate is not getting paroled because of drinking issues. and I just had to bring it up. And here it is, the no parole for Tate merch. We have the hats, we have the t-shirts, we have the sweatshirts. What do you think? You guys asked for it, so we deliver it. I love it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's like the inside thing going on here. I don't know. This parole hearing, I do love how the parole board really, I don't know if it's classes or not. Wow, they really like gave it into it, man. It's I just wish they would do this for the Chomos. I really do. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's hit and miss. But just to think about this, if you can even imagine, this doesn't require much unpacking. I'll show you the info that Lady Holly has. But that a man can go through all of those programs and not be able to have any insight as to why he drinks, or at least a script pretending why. That's insane. I mean, nothing there. I would love, I've been waiting for the day for the parole board to say, can you please tell me what step 2 is, or what, like what, but they don't do that. And I don't know if they're not allowed to, if there's like a law prohibiting them from asking about the 12 step, or if they just haven't thought about that. I don't know, but I think the craziest part about this is that he is going to get out soon and he's going to be a danger to society. We have it here that, thank you, Lady Holly, he was given just 3 years. On 12/5/2023 is when he was sentenced. He's getting out 2/13/2026, basically a year from the date of this hearing. And you can go through, he has other things in his record. Evade 1-year jail sentence. One has to maybe guess that this evade responsibility injury. It seems like it might be, a DUI where he left the scene, right? Illegal operating motor vehicle. These are on these charges. Even for here, they only gave him a year. But probation. Then they have 3/18/2018 illegal operating under suspension. 4/29/2019. I don't know what this is. Illegal operating, another one. Alcohol second. 12/25/23. That's the one that we just saw. I mean, it's what they discussed, right? And then you can see these little slap on the wrist sentences. Illegal operating, third offense, 3 years, but suspended after 1 year. And look, I could be there in the room. I could see his defense attorney saying, hey, he's 60 something years old, give him 3 years, suspend the sentence, finally give him prison time. He doesn't. But I didn't hear any mention of interlock device. I didn't hear any mention of any of those type of requirements, wearing a scram bracelet. In other states, they would make that. You would see them, okay, they have to wear a scram bracelet when they get out. They'd have to have an interlock device. And I don't know if that's something that they leave to the probation officer to set as requirements, but it does leave me to wonder why we didn't hear them. I'm pretty sure we have heard. I don't know. I'm confused about that right now, actually. But there you have it. Someone who is dangerous. I think is just as dangerous as any criminal, if not more. He's driving around a multi-ton missile and doesn't show any maturity or understanding of what he's doing, of how dangerous it actually is. And just to think about that someone with that mindset, intellectual maturity, will by all light, I mean, repeat the dumb, the dumb. I got my brain. Oh, you guys get my point. Okay. And with that, I'll let you go.
The judge said to you at sentencing, when you do the same thing 13 times, it's not a mistake, it's a choice. Do you remember him saying that?
No, actually, I mean, to be totally honest with you, I don't know. He probably did though, but I'm not sure. I just can't say I remember, but
It's not about whether or not we make this decision, sir, about whether it's appropriate for you to finish the 3 years you have to serve out in the community on parole, and we make it in light of the interests of public safety.
Mm-hmm.
And, your track record is one of being a menace. I've been doing this almost 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I read about somebody drunk driving to the liquor store.
Right. Yeah. Driving erratically.
And in my town,